Good morning, FYI family, and welcome to the podcast. It's a new week. Believe it or not, it's a new week after. My God. New week, despite the holiday yesterday, it's a new month rather, a little behind. It's a new month, May 2nd already. May 2nd already. Welcome to our broadcast. Do let us know how you folks spent the holiday yesterday. Some of us were out on the Labor Day March showing solidarity with a number of unions who came out to celebrate Labor Day. If there's anything to celebrate, some of you might argue that there's not much to celebrate, but folks were out and we were out enjoying a 79 degrees sunshine in downtown Georgetown and took a long walk, a long march with the marchers and then headed off to the rally. And it was from the parade ground in Georgetown into Main Street, all the way down to Durban Street, up Durban Street, went across Louisa Road to Regent Street to Albert Street. From Albert, we went into Wilford Avenue. And once we got to Wilford Avenue, we were at the headquarters of the Ghana Teachers Union where the rally happened. Met so many folks along the way. Yesterday, Shauna Fortune. Abby D'Souza is on the live. Good morning, Abby. Out of Linden, I think in the diaspora currently. Abby D'Souza on the live this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Abby. Abby's on the live, folks. Well, I know it's going to be a good show. Once Abby's here. Penelope Hudson is here too. Shauna Fortune, Audrey Stevens. Good to have all of you on the live this morning. Whichever page you're joining us from today, welcome, folks. Good to see you. Donna Fresco, or Fresso rather, on the live. Unita Mona, let me call it right. Unita Mona is on the live as well. Barbara Ralph is here too. How was the holiday at your new month, folks? Happy new month. Happy May. Happy May. Get to June. That's my birthday month. The very end of June, the 30th. That's the birthday month, folks. Royal Gulliver. Good morning, Royal. Good morning, Royal. Mars Bacchus is here too. Clarexis Chamley Richmond is with us too. Folks, I got a couple good things to let you know. You know, we were up in Tracy Clark. We see you too. We see you, Tracy. You all know we were up in Port Kaituma Region 1 last weekend. Well, we highlighted a couple of things and we started getting some action. I want the folks in Maruka to know we're coming, so y'all better start fixing. Don't let get on the ground and see things out already, you know. You better start fixing things in Maruka. Going to Maruka mid this month rather. A little bit mid this month. Going to be in Maruka. We're going to be in Rose Hall this weekend. Today's Thursday, May 2nd. On Saturday, the Alliance for Change has a leadership meeting in Rose Hall. We kind of shifted around the last time we had our National Executive Conference. National Executive Conference is the leaders from all the regions with the Alliance for Change. We met in Linden, meeting in Rose Hall. We met in Linden in January, on the 27th of January, I think. And on the 4th, we're meeting in Rose Hall. We're going to have a whistle stop, also in Rose Hall by the bus shed. But when we went to Port Kaituma, folks, you guys helped us to highlight a couple of things. Morna Stobie's on the live this morning. Good morning, Morna and the whole family. Wish you guys a great day, a great rest of the week. Success in your businesses. Port Kaituma folks. Kyle Bino is here with us. We got some action. We like when we go places, things happen. We like when we go places, things happen. You know, as we walk through the first 15, we got about 30, 40 this month. It's our show. We do what we want. We got about 30, 40 things to share with you guys. Hope we get through all of it. So we went to Port Kaituma, folks. And we reported that a road that was recently finished, handed over, signed off. Contractor said, okay, go to the front of the class. Payment delivered. The road started deteriorating. The steel beneath was showing. Well, since we were there, let me pull to the side a little bit so you guys can see more of the graphic. Since we were there, they patch up the road, folks. When we go places, things must happen. Brenda Braffett, Kevin Pierce, the folks watch our program. Good morning to the regional chairman. And this is not leadership, you know. This is reactive. This is reaction. Leadership would have been examining those projects on their completion before money passed hand, kickbacks and so on. That the thing was done right. That would have been good leadership. But we came and we exposed the wickedness, the corruption there in Region 1. And then Brenton Lashley and company, Brenton Lashley and co, run out quick to patch the problem. We got some more things we can highlight in Region 1. We are going to get things done for the citizens of this country. One way or the next. Redham and Alexis, we are going to get things done for the citizens of this country. One way or the next. So they went and patched the road. We got the video too. But it's thanks to you. Because Shauna and Charlene, Redham and Leslyn, Belinda, Edward Brooms, your advocacy here matters as well. And that is why we are programming the difference. I don't want you share the live and smash the emoji button because we're popular. Any foolishness like that. I always tell people, find something you're passionate about. Find something you have some passion for, and fame and all that will follow. You don't want to do that. And we are passionate about the development of this country. We are passionate about value for dollars spent. And we can keep exposing when they're doing nonsense. If it is done right, then all of us benefits. These aren't things you can hear in Ali's Mayday message. And his message should be Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Trouble. Trouble, trouble. That's the kind of Mayday he should be sounding. You tell me all the people pass through Port Kaituma, didn't see this problem here? Folks, share the life as you come on. Smash that emoji button as you hear. So we got there and we saw action. In addition to that, folks, remember we pointed out some of what was happening on the wharf there? The wharf about to fall into that river. Marna, what's the name of that river? Marna, what's the name of that river? This is a place in Port Kaituma called Oranok. What's the name of that river there? Well, since we left, a flurry of action. Since we highlighted wasteful spending, corruption, poorly done project with this wharf that's going to cost taxpayers in this country, going to cost Guyanese over $1 billion. Oh, flurry of action since we left there. But I want to underscore Jude and Forbes and Gary and Everett, Brenda. It's because y'all showing up. It's not because of me personally. is the viewership on the programs. Because viewership equals numbers, and politics is about numbers. When you see us on the ground by your end, you better know things can happen. We got down there in Port Kaituma. Them boys call around quick. Duncan and crew on the ground. Suddenly you got police following around. I want some outriders. 1 and 2 sirens every now and again. Special police tracking your movements. Reporting. Yeah. We finding work for y'all do finally. Y'all better fix the infrastructure of this country properly, Brendan Ashley. And this PP government stop thieving out this money. So Dolly and Debbie, Deborah, Belinda, Brenda, Everett, it is to your credit. It's not ours alone. Because you all show up and you all view the programs, you all share the live and you all smash the emoji, but you all partner with us to help us to get into some of these areas. I told you all this trip to Port Kaituma cost us about 150,000 each. It costs something to get into these locations, but the corruption happened here too. And we want you folks to get the valid and credible information. We ain't driving fancy car and building big house and so on. If we're building anything, I want to build a studio. We could do this work more efficiently, more professionally. That is my dream for this whole operation. Going forward, come off the grid of GPL. We could do this 24/7. Highlighting the work of our administration when we go in there. Pace and power moving forward for the next 100 years in this country. For the time being, we can keep highlighting corruption in this country. People say they done fulfill all the promises. God have his mercies. In under 4 years, everyone said they done fulfill all the promises. This is promises fulfilled. The work not even waiting to be finished before it starts floating away. This can't be it. Denise, Belinda, Kishan, Dolly. This can't be what it looks like. But in addition to that, folks, I say to you, there was a flurry of activities. Big shout out to Tiffany there. Port Kaituma as well. Just saw her face in my mind. Big shout out to Tiffany there. Good morning to you too, Tiffany. Hardworking Tiffany. Morning all the other folks. Right. Folks, if I didn't have a chance to say thanks to the good people of Port Kaituma and the APNU AFC family in particular, thanks for all of you. Thanks to all. This credit is yours too. Thanks to all of you who supported us while we were there and ensured we were comfortable. We're coming back shortly. Other things got to be done for the people of Port Kaituma. Set of wells ain't working. Set of wells ain't pumping nothing. And we spoke to you guys also about what's happening at the schools there in Port Kaituma. Brendan Ashley, who didn't visit Port Kaituma in a long time, this is regional chairman, suddenly had a meeting with the primary school and secondary school parents. Folks, I tell you, there's a lot of action on the ground in Port Kaituma since we visited and highlighted all these issues. We spoke to you about overcrowding at the primary and secondary school. At the primary school, they want to build a shed. The parents donating monies for that. Priya, did you know that? Priya Manik Chan? In this little Dubai, fastest growing economy in the world, to build a shed at a school, parents got to donate money. Did you know that, Priya Manik Chan? Well, we got a lot of calls now. A lot of calls now to Port Kaituma. Brenton Lashley, did you know that? Who's even out the money there in Port Kaituma? Parents got to donate money to build a shed, among other things, in this oil economy. So there was a sudden meeting on, when was this? There was a sudden meeting, let me get information right, because we pride ourselves here on valid and Vital, incredible information. Somebody trying to call me. They don't know. We have a morning show. So while that was happening, folks, wharf being rectified or covered down, road receiving patches in the name of fixing the problem, the underlying problem, big meeting was called. And we saw on the region's Facebook page, parents of Port Kaituma Nursery, primary and secondary schools are invited to a meeting with Brenton and Ashley, regional chairman and team, Tuesday, August 30th at the Port Kaituma Secondary School Auditorium, 1 p.m. There's the notice up. And this was the meeting happening. Because we've been on the ground. And we came and we reported back to you the undermanagement, mismanagement, and corruption there in Port Kaituma. Margaret, they running for the meeting. Margaret says they're not getting any notifications when they come on. Oh, there's all kinds of things they're trying. Elizabeth says it's little Dumbai. Not Dubai, Dumbai. So we spoke of the shortcomings in the educational system. Suddenly Brenton and Ashley, who didn't want me to teach us before, suddenly he got meeting. Suddenly war fixing, suddenly road patching. You remember we had a meeting with the good people of 4 Miles? And one of the grounds, you remember that? We had a meeting with some of the good residents there in Port Kaituma. 4 Miles. Suddenly the regional chairman got meeting, community meeting too. Folks, the adage is so true. It ain't happening in a year, it's happening a day. Sandra Hanover, Belinda Halls Anderson, what didn't happen in a year happens in a day. So I got a meeting in Rose Hall this weekend. The Alliance of Change has a leadership meeting there. Our national executive conference is happening there this weekend. And then another 2 weeks' time, I'm heading to Moruca. Because the folks in Moruca got some issues too. A lot of skullduggery happening in Moruca. Y'all better fix the problems before I get there. Because you know we can put y'all on blast. You know, Beatrice and Kyle and Eworth, Sandra, we're going to put y'all on blast. You better fix the problems. Because we come in, as we used to say colloquially, with a fine teeth comb to see what's happening there. Again, I want to thank our APNU, PNCR, AFC family in Port Kaituma for making our visit possible and helping to make it a success. The credit is yours for the things we're seeing now happening on the ground. Suddenly, good morning to each and every one of you. Let's turn our attention to some of what happened for Labor Day. Because their fun run out. Came in out. He came in out, folks. Came in out. Yeah. There's a lot happened Labor Day. I don't know if we get all the time this morning. What's the word? To unpack it. Don't know if we can get all the time to unpack it. Folks, share the live. We see some value in it. Alright? Please and thank you. Smash that emoji button as well. Please and thank you. If you see some value in it. We see some value. Things get done. Right now they're watching us, Pray y'all know people got to pay for shit. Did you guys know that? Teachers in Port Kaituma got to pool money in this little Dubai. Did we know that? Teachers got to pool money in Little Dubai to build a shed for our kids. For Labor Day 2024, Irfan says that the government is examining innovative ways to ensure more money in the pockets of the working class. How come more money 4.5 years in is not already in the pockets of the working class? How come? How come? It's pretty interesting. Here's some of what he said in his Mayday message, if you can call it that, a message. If anything is a bad message, take a listen.
It's important for us to understand what constitutes a better quality of life. A better quality of life cannot only be measured by wages. A better quality of life depends on the holistic development of oneself, family, and community. It depends on the quality of healthcare, the quality of education, the quality of social services, including water, the level of infrastructure, and the holistic standard of living that one is able to achieve in a society and a community. It is these principles that drove the creation of a manifesto in 2020 by the PPP that was crafted in consultation with every stakeholder of the Guyanese community. That manifesto sought to directly influence and impact the welfare and well-being of all Guyanese, especially our workers. I'm therefore pleased at the progress we have made in almost fulfilling completely, in less than 4 years, all the commitments we would have made in the manifesto to workers and to the population.
Yeah, almost completely fulfilling the manifesto promises. You heard that? You heard that, folks? So, like education free already. Maybe I missed that one. Maybe I missed it. Almost fulfilling. Completely. Tracy Clark. Yeah. Was part of your campaign promise perennial blackouts? Consistent blackouts? A badly managed GPL? Was there part of the campaign manifesto? Oh, they said they've almost completely achieved it. An unprofitable GPL, was that part of it? Was that part of it? My Lord. Our pensioners, they getting 40,000 yet? Oh, almost completely. Right. Where we are on crime, 50% for public service. Are we there yet, Brenda Casey? Michael Benjamin says pension was supposed to be 50,000, free education, livable wages. Are we there yet? Fires every day. Was that part of the campaign promise? Out of control crime. Was that part of it? Almost completely achieved all that. It was that manifesto bar was very low. If you've already completed it, it was very, very, very low. Gail Alicock, Brenda Casey, Campton Reed, Orwin Don, Marilyn Thomas, Cheryl Mullerin, Patricia Craig. As we say colloquially, if I'm lying, y'all could tell me. If I'm lying, y'all could tell me. Luana Hall's a pimp. You see, he's almost completely. Right? Was the campaign promise 50,000 part-time jobs, or was 50,000? You think you got jobs paying your NIS, contributing to your pension later on in this life, a livable wage? Was that 40,000 a month part of it? Almost completely. Sherry Douglas said completely thieving the oil money. So you would find agreement there. Almost completely thieving the money. 50,000 jobs. You got a man watching. You come a minute late. Money deducted from the 40,000. Some people said they fulfill their obligation, yet every month is 15,000, 12, 12,500, 20. It's never fixed. 40,000 part time, 50,000 part time, almost completely. You mean that wharf in Kaituma was part of the promise? The road with steel juking out. Is juking in English word? Steel juking out could impale you and your vehicle, impale your vehicle and impale you. Was that part of the campaign promise? Wells that not pumping anything? Was that part of it? I don't know. Again, as we say colloquially, if a line, you tell me. If a line, tell me. You know, I want to, what's the word? What's the phrase? I want to give respect to Ephraim as the office he holds demands. But it makes it so difficult when he comes out and tells these untruths. When he tells these blatant lies. The man said under the last government, wages were waning. You know, Earphone got pick a struggle. Sometimes I don't even recognize Earphone. Sometimes Earphone gray. I said, this is the man I know. And then sometimes Earphone jet black. Pick a struggle. His vice president, his puppet master, told us that teachers' salary were increased since 2015. And he come out here talking about not the teachers alone, public servants. Even teachers were under that. And he comes out here now telling us about salaries and wages were waning under the last government. They got to pick a struggle. The message is not coherent at all. All the economy was bad, cost of living was terrible, and yet the inflation rate was 0.1. Inflation rate now is 12%, 13%. When they entered office, the inflation was 0.9, I believe. It means you could do more with the money you are getting. Public servants receive a raise every year, 77% at the end of 4 or 5 years. And we didn't have oil money. And this president wants to come out and says, higher wages is not the only thing to judge the standard of living by. It's a start. And he's saying that even though his wages were increased, you all know 3.5% on 1.5 million, $2-3 million is different than 3% on $40,000. It's a vast difference. So in some areas, minister salary gone up by $150,000. Well, minimum wage earners get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Their salaries increased by 50,000, 100,000. But he comes out here, the hypocrite that he is, to say higher wages and salaries are the only thing to judge good standard of living by. Roads and but we can't need roads. Pressy installed, albeit you can't need roads. Everywhere you go, People talk about how uncontrolled the high cost of living is. Every day the price is increasing in the marketplace. Our teachers, weeks on the picket line, and then a historic judgment. A historic judgment talking about the right to strike and the right to be paid while on strike once the strike is legitimate. You all remember the man in Wickenham? Hot dog for cash grant. Jack, they said, we don't know him. Some low-level person. And yet he was a special invited State House yesterday. Told y'all he's the headmaster. You all remember the fella? Bum toothpaste? You all remember the fella? See, he bum toothpaste. He was at State House yesterday. Jack said, we don't know he. He said, cash grants, you better buy the hot dogs or take your name off. Right? Jack them had no harsh words. He was not persona non grata. A select few teachers were invited to lunch at State House. The judge had some harsh words for them the last time with that. He said, teachers got a union that represents them on employment issues. You can't take a handful of people, the president give a box of coke up to 5,000, and then you're going to say you consulted with teachers. The judge says what they try to do was undermine collective bargaining. That is what they try to do. They try to undermine collective bargaining. But Mark Phillips, of course, is not his own man. So he has no trouble identifying with some rascals and the rascality that is corruption. Because you see, it's cash grants for hot dogs that got he said and we there. It's cash grants for hot dogs that got them inside there. Wicked, corrupt cabal. We try to be lighter with the morning program. Let's take a sip of this little hot. All right, cold black tea, cold coffee. We try to have an easy, quieter morning program, but they push us when they come out talking foolishness, when they come out talking the nonsensical. They push us. That's how he said. The Ghana Teachers Union, Ghana Trade Union Congress, and some of the other folks, some of the other unions had a fantastic May Day march and rally. Thousands of workers turned up yesterday morning. That march, long march, culminating at the Ghana Teachers Union ground there, headquarters and ground. And, you know, the Teachers Union with that historic judgment brought some energy back into trade unionism. Listen to some of what the president of the Ghana Teachers Union, Dr. Mark Light, said yesterday at the headquarters where the rally happened for the Ghana Teachers Union, for the May Day rally and march and rally yesterday. Mark Light, the president of the Ghana Teachers Union, Dr. Mark Light. Take a look, folks, and take a listen to some of what he said.
We are here basically because of a couple of things I want to highlight. One, that the struggle to basic rights and improve working conditions continues long after our founding fathers left these shores. That's one. Our struggle, as our brother alluded, from the time of slavery and indentureship seemed to be the same. I too watched the president's presentation. As a trade union leader, we have to look at everything. Anything that goes in social media or elsewhere is the business of the trade union leaders. And I heard nothing about engagement. I heard nothing about recognizing the unions. I heard nothing about the rights of workers. I heard what we give you. And that should never be accepted. This struggle is real. We need to recognize also that social inequality is a harsh reality that persists even today, especially among workers of different industries and countries, Guyana being no exception. We must let our voices be heard everywhere by all who wield their hand of power. Let us also know that pioneers of the trade union movement have empowered us to raise our voices, demanding that policymakers and politicians must respect the voices and the demands of the working class people. Let me also say today that we are celebrating Labor Day because we stand on the shoulder of individuals like Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow. Men and women who laid their lives down to represent the cause of workers in this country. So today, we must raise awareness among ourselves that the fight against injustice has not ended. The fight against injustice continues. And what is required is that every one of us must move against the atrocities that are set out against us, like the invitations you receive to create union busting must be debunked and refused. So today, the larger theme for Labor Day, as issued by the labor organization, is social justice and decent work for all. Social justice and decent work for all. But here in Guyana, the wise counsel and leadership of the GTUC has seen it fit for us to rally around the call for a share in the oil wealth. And so decent work and social justice is tied with a fair share of the wealth that is earned in this country. It belongs to all Guyanese. So in Guyana, we celebrate Labor Day 2024 under the theme Galvanizing and Mobilizing for Workers' Empowerment and Equal Share of the Oil Wealth. This theme, in essence, encapsulates the struggle and the demand for a fair and just society. Galvanizing and mobilizing for workers' empowerment and equal share of the oil wealth. As we sang that solidarity song, the last verse stood out for me. There have been untold millions that they never toiled to earn. But with our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Your presence today is an indication that we intend going forward, not only on Labor Day, but every day where there is social injustice, where there is the absence of decent work, where there is a failure of workers to mobilize and an attempt to prevent us from getting a hand on the oil well, we have to take a stand. Will we take that stand? Will we take that stand? Amazingly, when workers in Guyana decide to take the stand, we are always reminded that your meager salary, your loan and mortgages, your car note payment, your children's education will be docked if you take a stand. But you have to understand the Guyana Teachers Union took that risk for 29 long days. 29 long days. I traveled the length and breadth of Guyana with my officers, encouraging members of the different branches to mobilize. Emerging out of those 29 days, constant threat to dock our salaries and to cripple the Guyana Teachers Union. Let us acknowledge the words of Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." Some of us have to fight for others because they are too weak to fight for themselves. Some of us have to fight for others because they are too timid to fight for themselves. They are too tied up to fight for themselves. We must fight for all workers in Guyana because we are no longer shackled by the chains of oppression. We live, as we say, in a free land. We must act free. We must behave free. We must speak freely. And we must be able to move freely. This sentiment, brothers and sisters, rings true in our fight for empowerment of workers. It is not enough to seek our individual freedoms. We must strive for collective empowerment, where every worker has a voice and a contribution in shaping our future. The teachers of this country, the molders of the nation, as we pride ourselves, are now being sought after by a recruiting firm in the UK. And just as how they took away our nurses and our doctors, teachers with at least 2 years experience and as simple as a bachelor's degree will be leaving for the UK. And let's see if they will go to Bangladesh and Nepal. Let's see if they'll go to India and Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Teachers, we are not replaceable. Can I hear you this afternoon? We are not replaceable. We have our language. We have our experience. We have our special skill. And we must let them know that we cannot be replaced. Let me say this. When the union calls a strike and one teacher shows up to work, you are contributing to union busting. You are contributing to a failed effort of your union Because you know what? When the benefits are doled out, every teacher, the striking or non-striking teacher, receives the increase and the benefit. We are not fighting for 4,500 teachers. This country has over 16,000 teachers. And so if you're talking about teachers' benefits, it must not be for 4,500. And I am really astonished at the compensation given to the doctors. I ain't working for them pay. I used to do part-time at the Cyril Potter College of Education. And I said, I am not working for $1,200 an hour with a master's degree. I left. Can't pay. When you work extra, there are laws governing this country as to how you must be paid. And that must be respected. We must remind ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, that the wealth of this country don't belong to a special select group. The wealth of this country belongs to every Guyanese. Why treat us as third and fourth class citizens? And in the song of my colleague said, why don't you sorry for we and talk to we? And it resonates with me that sometimes governments of the day believe that they have to be sorry for the workers. We deserve a just piece of the pie. We must remind ourselves of our immense contribution. The workers of the oil company, the oil sector, the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the private sector workers, the transportation operators, the laborers, all public servants, each of us, we play a vital role in powering our economy. The other day, the boat operators operating the Supanam Perico route were on strike, and hundreds of commuters were left stranded. And why were they striking? Why they refused to work? Because they were asking for $200 more on the fare. I believe every sector worker plays an equally important role in shaping our economy. And so, in spite of our dedication and hard work, there are glaring inequalities that persist. This is unacceptable. Every worker, every employee of the state deserves dignity, safety, and a fair share of the wealth we help create. It belongs to us. Therefore, on this labor,
Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. That's some of what the president of the Ghana Teachers Union said as part of his presentation, his speech yesterday. The culmination of that march and rally, folks, was a fantastic day to be outside. A little hot, but not too hot, folks. And it was quite a way to go. Yep. I want to thank all those. I want to say thank you to all those persons who participated yesterday. So a number of member of parliament, out there, members of parliament rather, out there. Leader of the opposition was out there as well, and I saw Royce Ford. I saw as well Darren Wade out there as well, and we're gonna circle back in other programs to some of their contributions also yesterday, and of course this historic win for the GTU. We're gonna circle back to some of that in other broadcasts, but Folks, let's touch on a couple of things before we wrap up this morning. We've already gone a little overtime as is, our appointed hour, the slot that we take off in the morning, and we've gone a little overtime. I want to touch on a couple of things before we let you guys go today. I'm good to see so many of you on the live this morning. This gas energy, I know this is almost completely fulfilled their manifesto. Part of the manifesto was renegotiating the 2016 production sharing agreement, the PSA of 2016. But instead of doing that, the contractor for the gas ashore project, one of the contractors, Linseka, suing us for $50 million US. Is that promise fulfilled? The contract has not been renegotiated, and we're now going to be paying some more money if Linseka has its way. ExxonMobil, for its part, has denied responsibility for any delays cited by the gas ashore contractor, again, Linseka, to claim over 90 rather, not 50 million. 90 million US in cost overruns. That's what they're telling us. Linseka claims that the delays in handing over the ExxonMobil portion of the project has caused cost overruns, which they are seeking this huge compensation for. Rutledge, president of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alistair Rutledge, has defended ExxonMobil by stating that any delays on the Exxon end were minimal and did not hinder Linseka's ability to perform its work. Then it's who problem? $90 million. Who can pay the Guyanese? Exxon says not a problem. Exxon says the problem is not theirs. All right? Exxon says the problem is not theirs. So that's part of what's happening. That's part of what's happening. We hear also that as we run Labor Day, it's right here. Co-op officers are to benefit from some international training from the International Labour Organization. Thanks, because a lot of the co-op officers they know nothing but co-ops. They know nothing about co-ops. So the ILO is preparing to train some of our co-op officers, right? As part of the co-ops movement. The ILO, the International Labour Organization, is set to equip our officers with a number of skills. They'll be trained in financial record preparation, and this is to be in compliance with the AMLF, or rather the AML-CFT protocol. This is financing of terrorism and all of that. The way people want to move monies to facilitate all kind of corrupt transactions. They're going to be training report writing and inspection techniques as well. Them guys need a boost here. You know, the Labor Ministry keeps churning out some labor officers. You know, some co-op officers. Not all of them, but some of them leaves much to be desired. The court spoke about one of them recently. Justice Sandal Kissoon in that Ghana Teachers Union case spoke to about one of them. And then Jack knew them run out talking with harsh judgment, harsh language. You know, harsh language. Yeah. You all think they're easy now? You all think they're easy. And as we there, the Commonwealth also had some words at this Labor Day, and they want to see, the Commonwealth wants to see a couple of things. Right? Commonwealth leaders quite recently urged for more investment in smart technologies for better public service delivery. Better public service delivery. Even said they almost complete all of the promises made in the last manifesto. And the touch on smart technologies for the public service, you can't even pay public servants competitive rates and wages and salaries. much more to go in this transformative direction that the Commonwealth leaders are articulating. These comments, folks, came at the 3rd biannual Pan-Commonwealth meeting of heads of the public service, and it concluded with a call for increased investment in these smart technologies like artificial intelligence to enhance the public service delivery and achieve sustainable development goals. The meeting was held in London and focused on the institutionalization of smart government to enhance public service delivery. And they looked at a number of subtopics under that. But we must work smarter and not harder. That's the short of it. Again, by incorporating all of these smart technologies, we're working smarter and not necessarily harder. And we did touch on what's happening on the ExxonMobil front. Exxon saying it's not responsible for the delays in which Linseca is suing us for $90 million. So they're not responsible. They are not responsible. Let us who? Even say we almost completely fulfill campaign promises. Yeah. The PSA of 2016, the production sharing agreement, they didn't renegotiate yet. In addition to that, Exxon is supposed to be relinquishing 20% of the Stabroek block. Yep. This is part of that same production sharing agreement of 2016, which dictates that any undiscovered wells in portions of the block must be handed back, right? Or non-discovery. So they said they're going to work with government. They're going to work with government to relinquish 20% of the Stabroek block holdings. This was supposed to be done since 2023. Still outstanding. Even said almost completely they fulfilled their campaign promises. Right? They said the company will work with the government to determine which parts. Of course, they're giving up the juicy parts. They can determine which parts they're going to give up of the Stabroek block. And the company says it has not finalized the areas it will give up, but plans to work with government, right, on the calculation of the 20%. And like I said, the production sharing agreement of 2016 stipulates that the relinquishment of 20% of its acreage in the block is to be done, which held no discoveries. That's what's happening on that front, folks. I think they're saying some stuff about City Hall now. City Hall could be a better place if government pays its dues to City Hall. Look, government owes City Hall a lot of money. But they can want to talk about garbage collection and beautifying the city and so on. Pay up or shut up. I think as Roysdale said in a recent article on this same subject matter. Pay up or shut up. Moving along, folks. Region 9 saying they're seeing a decrease in sexual offenses, robberies and sexual offenses. Region 9, this is according to Senior Superintendent Raphael Rose, Police Commander of Region 9. Significant decreases, they said, in serious offenses such as armed robberies and sexual assault. Interestingly, a number of indigenous leaders held a press conference at Herdmanson Lodge last week talking about the widespread sexual offenses in the hinterland. Widespread. That's what the indigenous leaders said. Rose said the reduction, Commander Rose, Raphael Rose, Region 9, said the reduction in the reports attributed to this significant decrease in serious offenses such as armed robbery and sexual assault. This is attributed to enhanced training, modernized facilities, and upgraded equipment for law enforcement personnel, according to Rose. According to Commander Rose, quote unquote, according to Commander Rose. And as we on the Ghan Police Force, they said they've acquired a state-of-the-art. Everything for government is state-of-the-art. State-of-the-art crime scene vehicle. That wharf in Port Kaituma is supposed to be state of the art. The generators, the 17, 18 generators they purchased for GPL is supposed to be state of the art. I hope this crime scene vehicle, not like those generators, right? They buy 18 generators, 1.5 working. I hope this crime scene, crime solving, crime scene vehicle is not like those generators. The police force says that this is to enhance its crime solving capabilities. The vehicle is equipped with cold storage units, cool storage unit, first aid kits, washing, computer workstations, secure lockers, power outlets, solar lighting system, and the tent which facilitates, tent facilities rather, aimed at addressing the challenges in processing crime scenes. Yeah, if it works, it redounds to the benefit of Guyana and Guyanese. Right? I hope it didn't go the way of the generators at GPL. I hope it's that the same people purchase it. And then fires, folks. Fires with us all the time. Unattended stove, house went up in flames. Hemwati, Bridge Buchan, and the 3 children are now homeless. Their ages 10, 7, and 4. Homeless after their 2-bedroom property was destroyed by a fire on Tuesday afternoon. Right. Bridge Buchan fell asleep and forgot to check the pot cooking on the gas stove, leading to the fire. The mother of 2, or rather her mother and her 2 cousins, rescued her from the flames while other neighbors helped. Fell asleep and left the pot in the fire. Fires. Linden had a big altercation recently with a businessman, proprietor of one of my favorite eating spots in Linden, Tropical Delight. They told us some big session was being held close by. And as per normal, Tropical Delight playing their lovely music for their customers. They were asked to turn down the music so the big music happening elsewhere could persist. You know, a lot of people got their eyes on this property with Tropical Delights. If you go by the 4 Corners in Linden, they're the most perhaps popular business there. They work 24/7. Anytime you go, they can get food and drinks. Get some juice, some lovely Creole food. A lot of people got eyes on this business. A lot of people want it. The police somehow had some confrontation with the owner there. Right. The reports indicate that around 7 hours on Sunday, police visited Tropical Reflections, the bar located at 5 Corners. I said 4, 5 Corners, Mackenzie, Linden, and instructed the DJ to turn off the music. The DJ was arrested, apparently refusing, and sometime later, according to reports, it's alleged the proprietor of the business visited the station to inquire about the DJ. And this quote-unquote disorderly behavior arrest allegation. Apparently, the businessman was later asked to leave the station, according to reports, and it is alleged that while leaving, he assaulted one of the ranks, causing other ranks to intervene, thus leading to his arrest. He's just crazy. He said he can assault this officer. A switch just flipped. I don't buy that for a minute. But this is what's being alleged. As we have more on it, folks, we'll have more on it for you. Running you guys, and finally, as we wrap up today, some lighter news. They're telling us there's a kayaking competition that's going to be happening in Region 10 as well, since we are there. Right? Hosted by Elite Kayaking and Nature Tours. It's happening, folks, on May 5th. This event will feature 13 schools from Linden, Kokwani, Georgetown, Burbis, and the West Side. The event aims to bridge the gap between education, sports, and the tourism sectors. And teams will consist of 12 participants, 4 substitutes, which age categories on the 14, on the 16, and on the 16, and the open. It's going down in Linden, folks. It's going down in Linden. Yep, good luck to y'all. But safety first. water, and kids, it only take one moment, one unguarded moment to spoil this whole thing for a long time. Safety first. And if those kids can swim, an even bigger plus. Safety first. The life jackets and, people watching, lifeguards and so on. Safety first. One unguarded moment could spoil a good thing. So big congrats to the organization, Elite Kayaking and Nature Tours. Big congrats to them for pulling this off. Our young people need wholesome activities. I'm all for that. But safety must go hand in hand with it. So we're looking forward to see the success of this endeavor by Elite Kayaking and Nature Tours and all who are going to be involved. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. Meetings. Yeah, that's correct. Folks, thanks for joining us this morning as we examine the first 15 things we think you ought to know about as you start the day today. Yeah, from all of us here, FYI. We're gonna wrap it up here. Clear, Coverbatch, Dolly, Cheryl, Forbes, Jules, and all the other folks joining us this morning. Such a privilege being here with you guys. Andrew Griffith, thank you for your time as well, Andrew. Thank you as well, Dan Abrams, and all the other folks who are joining us. That's going to do it for us. Listen, share the live as you go. Action happens when we talk about things here, when we visit places. Big shout out again to all our folks joining us out of Port Kaituma, joining us out of Wakenham. The folks in Maruka, we're coming soon. Rose Hall, we're coming as well. That's our time for today, folks, and that's our program. Stay safe, and thanks for dropping by, each and every one of you. That's our time, that's our program.